Hi everyone, I'm JD, welcome back to my channel. I am going to try something a bit different in this video, keep trying new things. That's what we're doing this journey, this creative journey. And I'm just going to play it by ear and try to make a journal cover like this one. This is my personal junk journal this year, or one of them at least. And I made it from scratch. It's the first one and only one so far that I've made from scratch using chipboard, so cutting out the chipboard and putting it together with fabric and everything. So I thought I would put the camera on while I go about the process, and so that you can see how I work it out and so you can follow along. So hopefully it's helpful. And this is my guide here, so I'm going to put that there. Materials. So I use the backs of, the paper pads. This was actually the back of my cartridge paper that I use for my drawings, but this I'm going to use for this cover the back of the paper pad, of a scrapbook paper pad, and there's different weights. So I've got a whole bunch here. I'm going to be making a whole bunch of journal covers. These ones are quite thin, so it wouldn't work. I would make a soft cover journal out of these ones, and I can show you that in a different video if you would like. But what I want is something thicker so that it's more like a hardcover journal. It's still a bit flexible, but definitely more of the, like this can kind of bend a little bit, as you can see there. But it's hard. I call it hardcover. So use your backs of your paper pads, really handy. And I've just got some fabric here. I've been saving this to make covers with these. So now that I've got the paper pads, I can start using this. Alright, and so ruler, scissors, pen, pencil or whatever, the other materials, and obviously glue. I think that's all the materials we need for this. Maybe a calculator to do measurements. So first of all, I can see that this journal is 16 centimeters wide, but it's a little too wide. Well, not too wide, but I'm going to go 15 centimeters on this board. The great thing about this, you don't actually need a grey lead because it's all going to get covered over with the fabric. So I'm going to rule. Oh, Kian, did you see that? You just jumped on the table. Going to rule 15 centimeters. Hi, honey. Hi, baby boy. How are you? You come to see what I'm doing, hey? I'm not sure if the reason why he always wants my attention, well, why he always climbs my back and wants to be on the table is because he wants me to pay attention to him. Is that why? I'm still getting used to cat behavior. I'm really not sure what the deal is. And then I'm going to rule 15 centimeters. It's just a bit wider. It would have been perfect. Oh man, I could just hang on. See, this is the whole point, Let's just we are learning together. That's the point of this video. Not to do it perfectly, but to just see how I go about it. So I need to get really close in here so I can see that, sorry. Not sure if, oh, hang on. So I'm going to measure 15.21225 centimeters. It doesn't actually matter if it's a little bit off, like half a centimeter off. Really doesn't matter. Alright, so now that should be even. I'm really hoping it is. But it doesn't matter if the cover or the back is slightly wider than the other. Anyway, so I'm just going to grab, oh no I'm not, again. This is the process. So how tall I want it, let's do that first, shall we? So let's go, if it's narrower, a bit narrower by about, see, this is all guesstimating. I'm really not worrying too much about getting it perfect. I'm just playing it by ear. And I think 25, let's do 22. That'll do. So if you guys are wanting the exact measurements that I'm using, I've gone 15.25 centimeters for my two, oh my gosh, I'm terrible at this, two covers. And then I'm going 20.2 for my height. Alright. Oh dear. So let's just check that. I feel like that isn't right. It isn't at all, is it? What happened there? The main point is to have fun, right? Alright. Now we have it. Let's cut that out, because we want to keep this whole, because that's going to be the spine. Oh, I can see that's got a bit of a bit there, so I probably should have used a different part, but it's not too far in. And you know what? I like the quirkiness of just using recycled materials like this. It's all going to get covered anyway. We want that quirky handmade factor to come through a little bit. Alright, so I'm sure there's probably easier ways to do this, but I'm just going to wrestle with my scissors here, because these are the only things I have that can cut through this thickness of cardboard. Okay, there we go. So now I'm just going to cut it down the middle. And again, if I knew how to speed up videos, this is a part that I would speed up. But you guys get real time, and I think there's benefit as well to real time, just to see the exact process so you can follow along and know, you know, there's no tricks behind this. I mean, not tricks, but no airbrushing, I suppose is what I mean. You see it's raw and real. Okay. Now, I'm going to get my, hang on, let me just see if that's even. Okay, so I think that one is slightly wider there. Can you see that? So what I want to do, I think, everything else seems pretty good. I'm just going to line them up a bit better. Oh dear. And rule that down there. Ah! A little bit difficult with these scissors. Okay, hopefully I haven't gone too narrow. Okay, that's better. Alright, so got my front and back cover. It's a pretty good size. I'm liking that. Now I have got my two pieces here. And I want the straight edges on the sides, and this is all going to get covered up, the spine anyway. I mean, the whole thing's going to get covered up, but you won't see the gaps where it's not completely flush, and it will allow anyway because it's got to fold. So I could have a spine that wide, but no. I like doing a 6 centimeter spine because that way you can put 5 signatures in it. Well, you can put 5 anyway, no matter how wide it is, like just put them closer together. But this way they're a centimetre apart, so it's just really nice and easy. Saves a lot of messing around if it's just a centimetre apart. And then I feel like that's not straight. What's going on? Hi, honey. Okay, get off my ruler. Yeah, you're cute, aren't you? Oh, you're adorable. See, I don't mind it when he sits on my table like that and just sits. It's when he tries to jump on me and bite me and claw me, that's when it's a bit annoying. Alright, let's double check that. I feel like it's wider at the bottom for some reason. Maybe because that edge is wider. Anyway, I'm not too fast. And then, hi honey. Okay, let's see, 20.2 was the height. Okay, can't see, I can't see. Oh, okay. I need a bigger table so that he can fit on it too, and I can just kind of push him to the side. If I push him to the side, he'll fall off on this table. How about we do it this way? Ah. So, something like that. And I was going to say something, I can't remember. It'll come back to me. Alright, so this is just the base. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I think when it comes to journals I make, this may be my favourite method. I mean, I know I've only done it once, but I love the fact that it's all handmade by me, so I get to kind of express my full creativity with these kind of journals when I make them okay, honey, entirely myself, and can have that free range. And I guess also because it's the size I want it and all that kind of thing too. That's why I like it. But if I find a good book cover, I really like the book cover ones too. But yeah. Alright, honey. I know you love the table and crafting with me. Like that's a bit too wide there. Alright, well, next I don't know, I'm going to see if that's, yeah, that's good. Hi, honey. Ah, if that's okay. It's very wide spine. Thing is, I really like wide spines because I like my journals to grow. I feel like it needs to be 5 centimeters rather than 6. But, you know, let's just go with 6. So that it can have 5 signatures spaced out pretty widely. Like usually I don't space them out that much if I'm using a book cover because the spine isn't usually that wide, so the spacing will be more like 1/2 centimeter between the signatures. But I think I'm going to make a series of journals with this method in the style that I like personally, so in my personal journal style. Alright, just trying to work out what my next part of the process is. I think I because usually I put a spine on, and I guess I could do that as well. But, so that's the fabric I used for my personal journal, so we won't use that one again. I feel like this is too light, the board will come through, so I want something thicker. That's really thick. And I was actually thinking of using Denise's fabric that she sent me. That looks like a good size. Alright, let's go with this one. And then I plan to make a whole series of journals with all of this fabric. But let's go with this one first. And you know, I'm going to have a hard time giving these ones up. I may, once I make them, be like, that one's mine. That can be my personal journal for the next 10 years no, when I make these. But the plan is to put them up in my Etsy. We'll see how we go. I can get it really attached to my journals sometimes. Let me have a look. I think it's upside down. That fabric. And then I want to see how, I'm going to check the cover just to see where it might go. So let's try further down this way and see what it looks like. I want it with lots of pink on it. Not that it matters too much, I don't think. But I think I want it there. Now I'm going to trim it down after, so I can place it where I want first. Alright, so all I'm going to do, just a simple version, literally just add the fabric. And this is how I do it. As I develop more in my making of journals, I can... hang on, sorry. Just got a blockage in my glue. I'm just using some tweezers to get that out. Alright, what was I saying? Who knows? Oh dear. So I want that. That's a bit rough. Anyway, I'm just going to apply the glue and hope that doesn't come through. It came through on my previous journal and that kind of threw me a bit. But people said I could just cover it over with, you know, appliques and fabrics and things. And I thought about it, but then I thought, it's my own personal journal, it doesn't matter. I can deal with the glue showing through. But I just don't really want it to buckle. And it would probably be better if I just use PVA, right? I mean, that's just apply PVA an even layer over the whole thing. So maybe that's the next thing I need to invest in. I haven't actually tried that method, but I've seen Johanna Clough use that method and it looks brilliant. And yeah, that could be the next thing. But you know, I use what I have. I don't want anything to stop me from creating. And I'm just going to stick that down. And I don't have a bone file, I don't know what it's called either. But again, I'm not going to let anything stop me from creating, and I can already see the glue coming through there. But again, I don't mind these little handmade imperfections. And again, I can feel, probably once it dries, I might be able to feel where the glue is. Again, I just don't mind. It's handmade, it's good. But of course, yeah, you use materials, you have better materials if you have them. But here is what I'm doing. So I'm going to put you there. Just seeing which way lines up better. Because yeah, all of it's going to get covered up eventually. Alright, so then I'm going to put my spine down. So it's really super easy. Hope that it comes across. I'm not doing anything fancy at all. Just cutting out my pieces and then sticking them down onto fabric. I do it flush because it will naturally just stretch and mold. The cover will work its way out by itself when you fold it. So yeah, I can see the glue has come through there again, but I don't mind. I'm still gonna love it. Alright, and then last piece. Oh, so Keanu's curled up on his chair. I called it his chair. It's my chair, but he sits on it and goes to sleep on that chair often. And I put it next to my bed, sometimes like right next to my bed when I'm sitting on my bed, because I craft on my bed. And he will either curl up or he does the most funny poses as he stretches out his whole long body. It just looks so long when he stretches out. So cute. And you may be watching this and going, no, don't do that, or use this, or do it this way. So if you have any advice, totally all ears. But yeah, the main point, I guess, is just to show, use what you have. And don't let your minimal skill set stop you from creating and finding a way to create. I mean, I'm not the most skilled at making journals. Still got a lot of growth to go in my journey, creative journey. So anyway, I ramble, don't I? Let's see how this is looking. Stretch it out. I mean, it's gonna probably have buckles here and there, but try and limit how big they are and how many there are. Okay, so there it is. Well, that's how it just naturally folds. It just does it by itself. And that's really cool. I like it. Alright, so now to do the detailed part. So that was really easy, wasn't it? Next, I want to trim this down. So, I'll try and cut straight. Although it doesn't matter because the edges will get covered, won't they? So, let's just do this. And then I have some offcuts to make flips, pockets, embellishments with that. That's a nice size. Let's do around here. I'm not actually sure what I'm going to use to cover the inside of the covers. I could use the fabric itself, like I did with my fabric cover journals, my soft cover fabric journals. or I can use paper. Sorry, that was a long silence then. Or I could use some pretty scrapbook paper to cover up the inside. Struggling to cut this. Oh, that edge is going to bug me. I know it's going to get covered anyway, but I want it at least a bit straight. Oh, that sounds interesting. Who was it? Someone was saying they love the sound of scissors cutting fabric. Alright. Oh, wow. Yeah, see, that's not making me happy, but it'll get covered over, so let's just leave it. And then this side down here. Alright, now, how did I do the other one? Let me just check. Okay, yep, all I did was just trim the sides and fold them down. I had metal corners to hide the gap, so I'm going to try to avoid the gap. I'm going to get my more precise scissors for this part. Maybe if I do end up showing a gap, I can just buy some metal corners or something. Because they are really cool, so that would give me an excuse to get some. But yeah, I'm going to try not to have to do that, because once I start making a journal I just want to get it done, not wait, do the whole thing in one go. And then I'm also going to do it for these parts here. Alright, I'll do the other side. Whoops, did that one a bit too wide of an angle maybe. Oh well, we'll find out. There's always ways to fix things if it shows up with lots of gaps. Oh, I just noticed the time is going to cut off, so I'll keep on going and